All right, Ada, this Hangout's live.
Hey,
what is this?
We're here, another Hangout. It's Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and that means it's time for the weekly Hangout. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada. We're in the Adafruit factory, and we're hanging out. And you guys are also going to hang out. We're going to have all sorts of people from the maker and hacker and tinkering community show up and show off their cosplay or their milling machines or their Raspberry Pis or whatever the heck they're working on. We'd love to see it. This is your chance to entertain us, finally. This is like,
well, this is broadcast and recorded, so they'll be entertaining other people too.
I know, but like
immediately though, you'll be entertained.
I feel like I'm having like it's like we're all hanging out at a party.
We are.
Okay.
This is a party.
All right, so we're gonna start off with
Noah and Pedro.
Noah and Pedro, and then we'll go to Andrew, and then Orlando. Please mute your mics until we call on you.
Yep.
And then you can unmute your mics. That just makes everything best for all. And we gotta get out of here at 7:50. Starting off, Noah and Pedro.
Hey, Pedro, what you got printing this week?
Hey guys, yeah, so Pokemon craze is still going on. We're still hyped up on Pokemon. Pretty fun game. Of course, one of the problems is that everybody experiences is a dead battery. So we figured, how do we make a cool battery with 3D printing? So there's a thing called a Pokemon Potion in the game, and we thought we'd 3D print a Pokemon Potion. But this is a little bit different. We put a USB battery charger inside. So this is a 2200 milliamp battery. It can pump out 5 volts at about 1 amp.
I like Pedro's Vanna White action here. You're like, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so you can clip it on and take it with you, and then sort of to make it a little bit more special, we added some LEDs to it to make it really, really bright.
That's nice.
A little too bright.
It's too bright, man. Let me turn down the thing here. So I made a custom PCB in Eagle, really simple one, holds 7 LEDs, and I milled it on our other mill, which is our desktop CNC, using an FR1 single-sided copper layer board. So anybody could remake this project. You don't have to put LEDs in there, but I just thought it'd be a little fancy about it. So it's a really cool, simple project.
Show off the board real quick.
Yeah, sure. And
Back up.
yeah, it's just really simple. Really thick traces, and a spare battery because I don't want to kill the battery that's going to power the phone, right? So that's about it.
All right, this is super cute. I like it.
Yeah, you can print it in any color. The one in the game though is purple, and the purple kind of lights up okay. It's got some hot spots, but you get a lot better diffusion if the thing's just white.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's not really that much glue. It kind of just snap fits together. So.
Super easy. Takes about an hour to print.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yep.
Okay, showing this video and a couple others. You had a couple time lapses. No, you had another mill, little caddy thing, and then a cozy.
Yeah.
Thing. All right. So
yeah, and there's a guide on the Learn site, so you guys can check that out. And files are all over the place on Thingiverses.
Yeah. STLs, and this week is our 100th episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Episode 100 is tomorrow.
congrats on another year.
Yay.
So we'll be going over some materials that we're testing out, some new steel fill from ColorFab, and just
Coupon
the workflow and coupon codes as always.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, cool. There's always news in the 3D printing land. I love it.
Good stuff. However, for the rest of the year, we'll just be doing Pokemon projects. Sorry.
I got like 50.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think we got 2 more coming up.
Yeah. No, we gotta end it.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Andrew, unmute your mic and show us your project.
Hello there. So a little while ago, I came on with an Esprino Pico and ESP01 module for Wi-Fi Gotchi. And I gave a talk on it back in December, and things are progressing along in terms of getting more professional JavaScript developers into IoT. So here I have the Feather Huzzah, and this is the LED backpack. Unfortunately, trying to get JavaScript on these things is incredibly difficult, or just finding the right binaries, finding the right tools. So myself, along with community here in the Pacific Northwest, we've created some software to do it for you with one-click installs. So I want to demo that right now. So
All right.
let's share entire screen. Cool. So the tool is called Flasher.js, and right now this Feather Huzzah is actually just printing hello from Arduino. So that's all it's doing right now. When you plug the device in, let me just minimize you, see it's saving on bandwidth. When you plug the device in, it selects the port, and then you can flash any number of binaries on here. So there's the different versions of the Espruino software. You can do 8.5 or Smart.js. I know Tony DeCurl has been doing stuff with Python, MicroPython. That could easily be added to this drop down as well. So you click flash, and it goes out to the internet and downloads the binaries for you, so you don't have to do any searching. You don't need to install Python on your system or anything like that. And right now it's flashing the Feather Huzzah with the Espruino JavaScript runtime. And within 1 minute, you'll be able to deploy JavaScript code to the device. So whilst that's flashing, I'll just move that over here. I'll show you the Wi-Fi gotcha code. So basically, it initializes the matrix with the address and the clock and data with brightness 0, because it's still really bright with brightness 0. And then the face with the graphics context and the render method, and the Wi-Fi credentials. So here's an example of Wi-Fi credentials. You can put in your work SSID, your home, your iPhone, your Android hotspot, anything like that. So you can put in multiple SSIDs, and the flash is finished. So it's worked.
You're done.
And then so this is part of a command line utility that I'm creating called Things SDK CLI, which gives modern JavaScript developers the tools just to push your code to your device, just like this. So you write npm run push, and this will work on Mac, Linux, Windows, you name it. And when you do that, it pushes it to the device. So I'll show you it coming to the device now. How do I switch? Oh, there we are. Okay, so it's being pushed over to the device. I'm just going to look at the command line to make sure it's doing its thing. I didn't hit enter, so it's being pushed over to the device right now. And what you'll see is... do it. Oh, it's not doing it. Oh, yes, it is now. Okay, cool.
Live demo.
It's hardware and software live demo, so always a bit risky, but it's pushing right now. It should be anyway. Let me just show you the website where you would do it. So if you go to wifigotcha.com, entire screen. Share. So if you go to wifigotcha.com, you can press one of these faces and it should turn it. So I'll make it a frowny face, and I'll just push the code again. Come on! I can't believe it's not working live.
JavaScript and all this stuff, I would have been like, no way. Or, yeah, totally.
I don't know. I ran it before the demo. Anyway, once it comes on, normally it just takes a few seconds for it to flash across, and then it's running on the device. Just keep looking at my picture down here. Oh, it's doing it now. It's doing it now. Yes. Yeah, so, I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe because I've got everything running right now, and. Yeah, anyway, it's running through the code, it's being deployed, it should appear, the suspense is, come on, it's initialized, it's sending, it's doing it, yeah, okay. I don't know what was going on there, but you'll see it here.
I think everybody on the internet's watching that guy scale the building with the suction cups right now.
Okay. That's probably why. So there it is. It's not connected to the internet yet. Once it's connected, it knows how it feels. Oh, and it's happy. So someone's clicked on the happy face. So
yeah, see, there you go.
See? Happy.
So the thing's called Flasher.js, which installs it with a one-click install, and Things SDK is the thing that I'm working on right now to make it easier for people to just push and deploy code. So yeah, someone's clicking on the meh face and the frowny face.
Oh.
It's alive.
That's cool.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you for the demo. This is
All
super
right.
cool. I'm
Well,
going to
thank you
check
so
this out.
much. And email support@adafruit.com, and we'll send you an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Okay. Next up, Orlando. Unmute your mic and show us your project. How's it going, Orlando?
So a couple weeks ago, I think I showed the pulse fit with auto thresholding.
Yep.
So I wanted to make it a nicer version on a PCB and stuff like that. This is what I designed it in EagleCAD and kind of just printed it out. I did the LEDs in the shape of a heart, so it looked cool. Unfortunately, when I was soldering together, I think it was last week, I realized I did a couple things wrong. So my live demo might not go too well. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what it looks like now and give it an attempt to see how well it works. We have a JST connector for the LiPo battery, and again, for the pulse sensor is just a simple transimpedance amplifier, and a current to voltage converter to convert the voltage from the photodiode from the light reflecting off your finger, and then a couple bandpass filters to amplify it. And so it should blink when it catches my pulse. It's a bit finicky, so we'll see if it does it well or not. But we'll give it a shot.
You turned on. You got that kind.
Dead.
Wait,
No.
no. Let's see.
Like I said, I messed up somewhere, so it might not work as well.
Oh, we saw. Ooh,
Oh,
That's not too bad.
yeah.
there you go.
Woo!
Yay!
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll need to edit it to fix the mistake that I made, and I'm hoping to, I don't know, see if people actually want to buy some of these things. So we'll see how that works.
Cool.
You have to have it run JavaScript and Internet Connect next. That's
Yeah.
the new,
I know, I love how we have the guy who's
new
like,
rule.
I have like an interpreter,
New
and then you're
rules.
like, okay, anyways, I have a photodiode and op amp.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to do the operational amplifier stuff and all the analog stuff. So all right, that's my project.
You do
All
not
right.
have to worry about JavaScript parsing errors. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
All right, thanks guys.
All right, thanks, Orlando.
Thanks so much, Orlando. Email
Awesome.
support@adafruit.com, and you'll get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Okay.
Okay,
Next up, Richard. How's it going, Richard?
take a few minutes to show your
Oh,
project.
Richard Screen wants to see
Richard
us.
was here.
Yeah,
Now
he
he's
was here.
not.
All right. Well, we'll go to
Aiden,
Aiden. We'll go back to Richard.
hey,
Hey,
what's squishing today?
Hi, so you may remember last week I showed off some flat pack soft actuators that were very thin and barely had any volume but could still inflate, and I had one that was bending and whatnot. I have another one, more simple. It just inflates from both sides. But what's cool about this is I didn't design the mold, kind of. If you remember, I've done a lot of work with parametric design and OpenSCAD, and I wrote in OpenSCAD customizer script that allows me to auto-generate these molds for these actuators based off of a black and white PNG file. So let me give you a quick demo of that. Okay. Can you see the Thingiverse page?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can just go and open Customizer, and then load in an image file. So this is one I prepared. So it has the image file there, and then any minute. Any moment now.
It's also running JavaScript.
Yes.
True.
There goes. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, as you can see here, I can also change parameters such as the length of the side. It generates it as a square. And I can change the different layers so that by manipulating the different heights of the two layers of silicone in this, I can change how the actuator moves. I can make it bend. I can make it extend just by changing those variables there.
Cool, and this is mostly known for being like a cell phone, an iPhone case designer. This is a neat use of it.
Yes. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try it again.
Street finds a use.
Yeah, this is kind of neat. I like the idea. And, you know, eventually you're going to be able to like reverse create actuators. So you'll say, I want the actuator to extend this long, and it will you'll be able to back calculate how much, you know, wall thickness you need for that actuation.
All right, I'm gonna give it one more quick shot here, and I don't think it's working. Okay.
All right, all good.
All good.
You get the idea.
It was cool to see the squishy.
Come back next week.
Yeah, next week I will come back with the Adafruit logo inflated.
Okay. Yeah, like expanding, that'd be cool.
That's cool.
That's what I was trying to do right there, except...
When I get really tired and I look at the Adafruit site, it does that in my head, so it'd be nice to see it physically.
Okay.
All right.
And C-Scout, play
Okay,
us
so
out.
Scott, what you got?
Hey guys, just a short update on the engineering side, and then I wanted to discuss something else given a couple of events this week. I'm going back to ChroBX while I'm waiting on boards for Chrominius, and I'm updating the, this is the voice board, and it's trying to tell me to restart my computer. Hang on a minute. Restart.
Update to Windows 10. Don't
Anyway, yeah, well, it's not Windows 10, but because I like my stuff to work. The idea here is that the original voice card is designed to work as a drop-in for the vintage OBX synthesizer, but in this case I'm going to make this one specifically for the Eurorack version, which runs on a different power supply. Eurorack supplies you nominally with plus minus 12 volts, but I don't trust most power supplies. So I subregulate that down to plus minus 10 volts, and I just have to go around and make sure all of the various circuit sections can operate reliably within that range, because they're now deprived of 33% of their expected voltage range. Anyway, more on that when I get board made and assembled and tested. I expect it to work, but anyway, back to me. Now the thing I wanted to talk about, there's two events that happened this week. We had the Metroid 2 fan release, and we had the Pokemon Uranium fan release. And as you might expect, both of those were swiftly dealt with a cease and desist.
Yep.
Well, there's a couple things to talk about here. Number one is, I'll get the company part of it out of the way. Companies have to pursue and protect their interest, otherwise they risk losing them to the public domain. So they don't really have a choice here. People are saying that they're jealous or they're being jerks or whatever. No, they don't have a choice. You have to manage a brand, and I'm sure Phil has plenty of this going on at times with people trying to.
And they're not trying to be harmful. It's just like, please don't say you're Adafruit. Like.
Now the other aspect is, if you're a maker investing all this time in your product, and it doesn't have to be a circuit board, it can be a game. Just use a little creativity and put your own brand on there, and people will go for it. Like I just as a joke this morning with a friend of mine, I came up with a bug catching game. I'm going to call it Systema Naturae, and it'll feature a 10-year-old Carl Linnaeus as the main character. Now he's the father of botany and zoology, and he has to fight other 10-year-old trainers like John Audubon or Jean-Henri Fabre, and of course the final boss is Charles Darwin, and Darwin's tough because his organisms can evolve.
Yeah.
So I figured you can put Jane Goodall in there, and all the creatures you capture will basically just state their binomial names. Like a housefly will be Musca domestica, or a wolf will be Canis lupus. But
instead of eggs, you can have petri dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm trying to think. Not only make it something free of current rights, but make it something that's somewhat educational. You're learning about who these people are and why these organisms are classified in this way. To put a little history and science in there. And to close with it, this has already been done in a different medium. If you remember the 1990 Simpsons Halloween special, the third segment was The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. It is probably the only time that a lot of people at once got introduced to a piece of classic American literature. And of course it doesn't hurt when it's read by James Earl Jones, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You want something to kind of have a mass appeal that doesn't look like people have to learn something, but they're learning anyway. Mm-hmm. So, as a maker, just do your own thing and worry less about doing some other person's thing.
Yeah.
It's okay to borrow ideas, just don't try to put your own stamp on it and say, well, I did everything. Yeah. But anyway.
Well said. And one of our tricks too is we can't ignore pop culture. So what we'll do is we'll say, well, here's something that you can make. It's not meant to sell. So like the Pie Girl it looks like a Game Boy. You 3D print it out. We're not going to sell Game Boys. We get in trouble for that. We're not going to sell something that looks just like a Game Boy. So it's the gateway drug into learning. And the trick is, like, we won't sell someone else's brand. We'll show you how to make something that's in that universe, perhaps. It's a start. And I completely agree. We were playing Pokemon, and we're like, this would be a great way to teach people about the history of New York City. But, you know, instead I'm catching rattle rats or something, or flibble flobs. But you can see the potential there.
It was 20 years ago, but I read a great book about how New York City grew from. It was called it was Umberto Eco, and the book was called Waterworks, and it's worth having a read. It's good. It's set in like the early 1800s, 1840s or so, but interesting read because you get to see the infrastructure of early New York. Anyway, that's it for me this week.
Okay. Well said. Excellent thoughts. All right. Thank you so much, Orlando. No, Pedro. See Scott. Andrew.
Happy face.
Happy face.
Happy JavaScript face.
Oh,
Hey, there you go.
He's working on that right now.
Like
We'll
I
see
said.
everybody next week on Show and Tell, and also Ask an Engineer. Little sneak preview. It looks like we're going to have the CEO of Radio Shack and the chairperson of Radio Shack right here on Show and Tell and Ask an Engineer. Talk about bonkers. What an interesting time to live in. So we're going to have them live on the show, we think. I'll confirm everything next week, but that'll be they have nothing to do with the Radio Shack of the past. They are in the current Radio Shack, so we'll talk about that.
Is this the CEO that got the Maker stuff into the store?
All good questions to ask live.
Maybe?
Yes, I will certainly ask that because that was a smart move if it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you guys later.
We can also put in our request, too. We want to see some Adafruit stuff in there down the road.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Don't Ask an Engineer in
Later.
5 minutes.